Here are some tactics car salespeople hope you never know, because the process of buying a new or used vehicle has a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people aren't very comfortable with them on a regular basis. And you have to haggle with car salespeople over price, negotiate with lenders, especially for an auto loan, all while trying to strike a deal for your trade-in. Well, there are a lot of mistakes that can cost you a lot of money. And salespeople practice these crafty skills. They literally practice them daily. And whereas the average car buyer buys a car every, 4 or 5 years or so? Well, this isn't really fair to you. And you likely will have to face high pressure sales pitches when you go to the dealership. So let me prepare you. Here are the strategies, but first, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Now, some car salespeople use time as a tool. They draw the process until you're absolutely exhausted. The salesperson is going to be there all day long, so if you plan on negotiating, don't be afraid to set aside the entire day to spend at a dealership or bring something to occupy your time or someone while you wait for the salesperson or the sales manager to give you a counteroffer. But you don't have to go through the entire process in a single day, and it's fine to take multiple days to make a decision, which is actually a pretty smart move. Here are your strategies that gives you the best results, which means you get the car you want at the best price. So when you go into the dealership, be ready to make a purchase, but don't get held hostage. Say things like, give me your best out the door price. Then, if the salesman offers to go back and forth negotiating with the manager, tell them to text or email you the results. They're not going to want you to leave the dealership. So your strategy is, when you arrive at the dealership, immediately set control of the process by saying something like, I'm here for a test drive. Tomorrow I'll come back and we'll talk numbers. Then they've already set the precedent for them trying to corner you into purchasing a car before you leave. You're controlling the process. Now, some car salespeople will receive extensive training in how to break down the needs or the vulnerabilities of prospective customers. Their quick assessment of customers allows them to tap into scripted questions that they've practiced over and over again and lead the process to close the sale. Now, car salespeople are very specifically trained in how to persuade people. And I used to be a dealer trainer, so I know these tricks and understand what you want and how the salesperson can take advantage of your weakness and your lack of negotiating. One question you might hear is, how much are you looking to spend per month? Now, if you announce it up front, it's going to skew the process and it leaves you vulnerable. Insist on talking about the numbers after you test drive the vehicle and are in the process of signing the paperwork. You have to test drive the car first, because if you don't like it, what are you buying? Now, it's fine to have the car salesperson help answer some simple questions, but remember, they may use that information against you, including vanity, family needs, safety priorities, to upsell you on more expensive cars and options that are part of packages, because that's where they make their commission. So the strategy is to break down the purchase and keep your trade-in separate. The process should be done in stages and focus only on one stage at a time, because they're going to try and package that all together so they can get you into the vehicle. So start with the car you want, then move to the price of negotiation and leave add-ons and trade-ins for a separate discussion. Here's a tactic you may have heard, but if you haven't, you will hear it in the future. Suppose you're in a car dealership. You're looking around and you pick out a particular vehicle and the salesperson breaks the bad news to you, saying someone else has already put a deposit on that car, or there's a buyer who said they're coming back later today to pick it up. That's usually followed by the invitation to put down a down payment or to buy it right now before they come back. They want you to spring for that purchase right here. That tells me a lot about a dealer who's willing to take a vehicle from someone else to sell it to you. Tells me they're kind of unscrupulous, and I really don't want to do business with a dealership like this. But remember, you can find that identical car elsewhere, whether at this dealership or on the internet, or you can simply buy something else. So here's the strategy. Look at the salesperson right in the eyes and say, are you telling me that if I come back tomorrow, you can't sell me this car? In other words, your best defense is simply walk away, or at least be prepared to do so. There are other cars out there. As P.T. Barnum says, there's a but for every seat. The porcupine close is a strategy where the seller sticks the potential buyer with a question. It could be, if I could get you this monthly payment, would that be what it takes to get you to buy this car today? Or if I can get you this in midnight blue, would you be willing to buy this today? The strategy is to say no. Instead, tell the salesperson you are shopping around at several dealers to find the best overall deal. And once you compare your offers, you can plan the buying decision. that will diffuse it immediately, and it puts you in the driver's seat or in control. The Ben Franklin close. Here's how it works. The salesperson draws a line down the middle of a piece of paper and lists all the reasons to buy the car and reasons not to buy the car on the other side. This is a very common sales gimmick in the auto industry, and I've seen it in other industries as well. And you may want to focus on the numbers you care about during this tactic. This is your monthly payment, your down payment, your auto loan's length, the interest rate, the overall cost, and know what those numbers should be according to your budget before you go into the dealership, and make sure you stick to those numbers. And don't forget insurance costs, which have gone up dramatically, and we've covered that on other videos. So here's your strategy. The best way to diffuse this tactic is to call out the salesperson by saying, literally, "That's the Ben Franklin close." Doing so will create an awkward moment right away, and the salesperson will kind of be surprised that you know that, but it will also prevent the tactic from continuing. It's a very sharp move on your part. A good salesperson will never ask you yes or no questions because they don't want to give you a reason to say no. You will be offered a choice between two things, like whether you would prefer a blue or a red model. The strategy is to take a lesson from the political arena. Deflect the question by responding with a non-committal answer like, "I'm interested in a few different colors," before switching to a different topic. That puts, again, you in control. And the finance manager is one of the most skilled people at the dealership. I've witnessed it and experienced it myself. They will recommend that you pile on a bundle of extras that you really don't need or can't afford because you're spending a lot of money on your car. You may be encouraged to buy an interior stain protection, anti-theft devices, rust proofing, tires for life, or my favorite, which I never recommend, the extended warranty. And we've covered that on a recent video as well. To ensure additional costs don't add up, go line by line through your bill, looking at the dealer fees, and you can negotiate those down or avoid them altogether if you ask them to explain everything. Now, some common ones to look out for are preparation fees, title fees, and gap insurance. Obviously, you can't avoid sales tax. The strategy is know what you want and need before going to the dealership and stick to your mission. You should ideally already have financing lined up, so constantly reminding your finance person that you have that all set in your budget and you are not flexible, because they're going to try and make you flexible. Now, salespeople are usually under pressure to maximize the profits in each vehicle. They sell to increase their commission, and this influences how they interact with you. The more a car salesperson convinces you to pay for a vehicle, the more profit they make. That's kind of obvious, but their commission may be as much as 25% of the vehicle's sales price. Now, how is that? Because the dealership management offers bonuses for selling cars that may have been sitting on the lot. Or there's bonuses from the car manufacturer. There's also holdbacks for salespeople or the dealership. And when meeting a sales quota on a particular model or year, well, there's money to be made. Now, understanding the most common tactics will help you stay confident during the negotiation, but it's not the only tool you have. Research multiple vehicles, including reviews, which we've done quite a few of them on our channel. Know the value of your trade-in and get financing before you go to the dealership. Check with credit unions. They have really low rates, and that's constantly changing. Sometimes your bank will do better, and sometimes the dealer will as well. You don't need to be a pro. You just need to be firm on how much you're willing to spend and what you really need. As I always say, knowledge is power. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you have any questions or comments, I'll be more than happy to answer. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link is in the description, plus all the links for our website, social media, my book, and our podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.